I'm Jake, and this is
Neverland Navigation Radio,
where we continue a cruise through one of our favorite Epcot pavilions. That's right, it's the Land.
The Yummiest Epcot Pavilion.
Okay, I would like one t-shirt that says that, please. I think you're right, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food-based stuff going on.
There is.
Yeah. In the last episode, which, by the way, if you didn't consume, you should before you dive into this one, because Morgan kind of went over the origin of the concept of the Land Pavilion and how it kind of relates to what we ended up getting today. Just kind of talking about some of the attractions and facilities there, but we've got more.
There's more. We basically talked about the history and then about the boat ride, which is now called Living with the Land.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's more.
There's plenty more to the pavilion.
And that's without even going into Soarin', because we already did that.
Yes, we don't need to. Go back and listen to that episode, too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Before we dive in to finish the Land Pavilion, we just wanted to thank you guys so much for joining us for part 2 of the adventure. And we wanted to remind you that if you'd like to help the show, you can do that by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts and by leaving us a review, which, number 1, we love to read, and number 2, helps the show become more discoverable all the time. We appreciate your help and support so much.
Yes. And if you are thinking about taking a vacation to Disney, to Universal, a cruise, please consider letting me be your free-to-you travel agent. Having a travel agent doesn't cost you anything. I give my clients a free gift to say thank you, even.
For me?
Yeah, because I get commission from wherever you're traveling to, even though it doesn't cost you more. So there's really no downside. So consider sending me an email, morgan@neverlandnavigation.com, and let me be your free-to-you travel agent.
Yeah, everybody wins when you support a small business, and you get a little bit of stress relief when it comes to your vacation planning experience.
Totally. Yeah, if you need something planned, I'm on that for you. If you don't want to get up at 6 a.m. to make your dining reservations, I'm on that for you.
And we get it.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah. No judgment. We feel you.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to dive? I keep saying dive, but it's not the sea.
It's not the sea.
No, this is very distinctly the opposite.
Although people say that about, I don't know, are you thinking there's a better pun? Eating pun?
Oh, yeah. Sink your teeth in, I suppose.
Yeah, sink your teeth in.
Although that always makes me think of vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very creepy undertone.
Or sharks.
Oh, gosh. And this isn't the Jaws ride. This is the Land.
No, we did that one too, though.
Yes, we did. If you want. That's a good one, too. All right, Morgan, tell me about the Land.
Okay. So we talked a lot about the Living at the Land ride.
She is an icon.
She is an icon. But historically, well, maybe pre-Soarin', I don't know now, but one of my favorite things about the Land was Garden Grill.
Yeah.
Garden Grill is, to me, iconic Disney character dining.
Totally.
It's from, it was a huge part of my childhood.
We definitely have nostalgia even from the smell of this restaurant.
Yeah.
When we walk into the pavilion.
And it means a lot to Jake and I personally for Neverland Navigation, because it's where we decided to do Neverland Navigation.
It is. Yes.
We were eating, at Garden Grill and deciding, this big change in our lives.
Yeah.
To embark on this adventure.
Wild to think about that all those years ago, but it was on Living with the Land. I mean, it was on the Garden Grill.
Yeah.
But something that I love so much about that restaurant that makes it so unique is, obviously, you've got the Blue Bayou for Disneyland.
Yeah.
But this is kind of this is a different version of that. I don't know. You rotate in and out of it.
There's nothing like it in Disney.
No.
So And to think that it's been there since the 80s is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I feel like they've had restaurants that rotate for, I don't know, but before we were kids.
There was a time, yeah.
Yeah,
and
up in tall buildings.
Exactly.
And it'd be insanely expensive.
Yeah.
But this is different because it's not for a city view or whatever. It's for a created view that they made.
of a dark ride.
Yeah.
How weird.
It's kind of like being, it's the only experience up until Space 220 where you feel a little bit like you're on a ride while dining.
Yeah. It does feel
and
like
now
that.
I feel like Space 220 checks that box for me too.
Yeah. Space 220 is like a dinner show, but the show is there is the elevator. Okay, yeah. That definitely changes things.
No, but even when you're sitting there and eating your food on Space 220, I mean, it's screens though, which you probably hate more, right? Like on Garden Grill, you're looking at physical sets that are changing around you. In Space 220, you're looking at screens that make it look like you're sitting in space, and the things in space change a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Like something will float by.
I definitely see some, especially because you're basically looking. There's no window there, but there could be.
Yeah.
When you're doing the Living with the Land rotation, it's like a zoo, but instead of animals, it's people on a dark ride.
Yeah.
Which is,
right,
in my opinion, very fun.
Yeah, and the different, you go through a bunch of the different scenes from the dark ride without seeing the people in the dark ride, but
that too, yeah.
So it's not like a show because you're not engaged, like actively engaged, but it's so much more immersive than any other restaurant.
Yes, the ambiance for my restaurant is a dark ride.
Yeah, it's wild,
incredible.
I see why you said pirates.
Yes,
but I think that this is so much more.
Me too.
I mean, I see why you said Blue Bayou. You got what I meant. To me, this is so much more because you change from your view being the desert to your view being the rainforest and so on and so forth.
And it's tied thematically to the concept of the restaurant, which is cyclical.
What do you mean?
Well, the whole idea of the land pavilion is like the changing of the seasons and our relationship with the earth.
Yeah.
The whole relationship, the whole Living with the Land ride is all about Earth's different biomes and how you kind of change through each. And then when you do this thing, it like rotates you through life, like Earth. Yeah. How cool.
It is so cool. So I'm going to start reading what I wrote about the history of the Garden Grill. Suspended above the boat flumes on Living with the Land sits one of the most mechanically and conceptually unique dining locations in the world, which is the Garden Grill. Neat. It opened alongside the parks on October 1st, 1982. Mind-blowing. I just think, like...
It's been here,
yeah. The venue was originally christened the Good Turn Restaurant.
I always forget about this.
I didn't know this. That's crazy. The name was a charming double entendre, referring both to a good deed and the restaurant's defining architectural feature, which is that the entire dining room sits atop a massive turntable that slowly rotates. Powered by a subtle friction drive motor system, the restaurant completes one full 360-degree rotation approximately every 60 minutes.
Yeah.
The movement is engineered to be entirely imperceptible to the inner ear, which ensures that even the most motion-sick prone guests can dine without vertigo.
I would like to kiss the creators of this attraction.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Imperceptible to the inner ear is my love language.
Yeah. Yeah.
As someone with motion sickness, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, I'm sure that, and a lot of people that have motion sickness think, oh, there's no way I'd be able to eat on something rotating, but they really put effort into designing this so that there's no way it can bother you.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I love Disney for reasons like that.
Yeah. And it's cool because you'll be like eating your salad or whatever, and you'll be having a conversation and not looking at what's around you. And then you'll look up and you'll be like, oh my God, I'm in a completely different place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the rainforest now.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
I do too.
And it's timed so well because a sit-down restaurant, especially with characters, takes about an hour.
Yeah.
So you get the full rotation and maybe plus a little, or not really minus a little, I don't think. Like with characters and stuff.
Right, it depends on, I guess, how big your family is, because if you need to figure that out for the picture taking, it can be... Yeah. Although it's really nice that the characters walk up to your table and kind of figure it all out for you.
Right.
That's nice. But yeah, I think it's a great length for the experience.
It's perfect. I think it worked out so perfectly. They made it go slow enough so that your inner ear can't detect the movement, and it just so happens that you get to see every part of the rotation in about the average time that you would dine, which is just absolutely just magic, I think.
I think so too.
The core purpose of the rotation is to provide diners with an ever-changing theatrical backdrop. As the restaurant turns, the tiered seating rotates past massive open windows that look, I don't know if I'd call a window, anyway, that look directly down into the dark ride biomes of Living with the Land.
Yeah.
Guests eating their appetizers might overlook the violent thunderstorm sequence, while their entrees are accompanied by views of the animatronic buffalo in the desert, and dessert is served while peering directly into the second-story bedroom window of the American Prairie farmhouse.
Yes.
So the other thing about this is, like, the reason that I get why you associated this with Blue Bayou, but I didn't, is because you kind of have to go out of your way to see the boats go by. You know what I mean? If you're sitting at your table, because of the fact that you're on the second floor and the boats are on the first floor, you don't see them. You've got to, like, look. And that also helps the experience when you're on the boat to not be like, oh, there's a bunch of people eating.
In fact, I only ever do one time.
Right by the farm. Yeah. Same. Otherwise, you don't even know that you've got like a boat basically right underneath you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's so cool.
Me too.
Like the pavilion itself, the restaurant has undergone multiple identity shifts to match the changing demographics of the park, which I didn't know about this. This surprises me. But on May 14th, 1986, I don't, other than the name from when it opened, I don't know much about it. I didn't find much about it.
Okay.
But on May 14th, 1986, it was rebranded as the Land Grill Room, which pivoted towards a more upscale steakhouse-inspired menu.
I've never even heard of that.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That's why I was surprised. I didn't know about this, but this is what it was for like 7 years.
Wow.
So we didn't know about this. Apparently, it was a fancy steakhouse. So they were trying to, I think, emulate, like, I don't think it's the Space Needle, but it might be the Space Needle. There are some high-rise buildings that have this kind of thing, and they're fancy and they're expensive, and you go there on a date, and this is where you propose to somebody. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that they were going for that in the first like 7 years.
I hate to give this example, but I will because it's the only one that I know for sure. At the top of the World Trade Center, there was famously one of these. Like,
did it rotate?
I don't think it did, but it was called like Windows to the World.
Yeah. I've been up there.
Right.
There's one that does rotate for sure. Now I'm questioning myself.
Hamilton, the musical. That one definitely rotates.
Oh yeah.
Famously.
You're right.
Yep. You were thinking of the dining package at Hamilton.
Right. They're at the top of the Stratosphere, which is now I think just called the Strat in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
There is a 360-degree restaurant, and I believe that it rotates.
And they have.
And I've been there. I just now, but
they have rides and stuff up there too.
Oh, they are crazy.
Oh boy.
Looking at those rides makes me actually like feel sick. Just not like thinking about going on them, just like looking at them.
Don't worry, when you're on the ride, it is imperceptible to the inner ear.
I think not.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Oh,
no,
people would be crazy.
Terrifying.
I mean, I know people that would do that have done that. So if that's your thing, you are so brave.
I'll be at Celine Dion.
I'm so impressed. Yeah, I can't even look at somebody go on that ride.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're out.
Anyway, the biggest shift for the Garden Grill occurred on November 15th, 1993, which is when Nestle took over.
Ugh.
And But this is when we got the garden grill.
Yay!
So recognizing the explosive profitability and popularity of Disney character dining, management transformed the upscale grill room into the family-friendly garden grill.
Yay!
Today, the garden grill hosts Chippendale's Harvest Feast. The experience is served up family style, and this is all I remember is this family style.
Same.
Yeah, so like I guess I hadn't gone there before 1983. So it's an all you care to enjoy format. For as long as I can remember, that's how it's been.
Yeah.
Where there are massive skillets of flank steak with chimichurri, which I remember you and I liking a lot.
I do too.
Flank steak with
Really,
chimichurri.
we like the sauce because we're sauce girls.
Yes. They do a good sauce.
Yes.
Roasted turkey, macaroni and cheese, which I remember being really good. They put goldfish crackers on them.
That's right. I forgot about the crackers. We were like, what is this? And then we were like, oh, that's goldfish crackers.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And garden salads are brought directly to the table. Fun fact, fun tip. They now serve the garden salad with a vinaigrette, right? When I was a kid, they served it with Mickey-shaped cucumbers that they grew
Oh, yes.
in the
Living with the land greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they used plastic what's it called? Like molds for the cucumbers. And that's what made them grow into Mickey shapes.
Right.
And so when I was a kid, they had this salad with the Mickey-shaped cucumbers, which was like the coolest thing ever. And then the salad came with ranch dressing, which to me seems so much more farmhouse.
Yeah.
And now they serve it with a vinaigrette. But fun fact, in case you're interested, you can ask for ranch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the fun fact was going to be.
Well, yeah, it's that, and we can all be a little sad that they don't do Mickey-shaped cucumbers anymore.
Aww.
But they used to. But the fun tip from your travel agent friend is that you can get ranch dressing if you feel like ranch dressing goes better with a Mickey farmer. You know what I mean?
Me and my homeboys pick our salad dressing based off of thematic accuracy alone.
I'm just saying, to me,
it makes
ranch
perfect
dressing
sense to me.
And a farmhouse and, Mickey shaped like a farmer.
At the ranch
dressing.
At the ranch?
Right?
What aren't we seeing?
Why vinaigrette seems steakhouse fancy.
What was the name of the steakhouse?
Yeah, it's grill room.
That's the grill room.
Yeah.
They think they're at the grill room.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I don't want a vinaigrette. I want ranch.
Give me that.
I'm wearing overalls.
I'm chewing on hay.
Yeah.
And I'm ordering ranch special.
Thank you. You get it.
Darn
sweet
tootin'.
tea. They don't serve sweet tea. That doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
Nowhere in Disney World serves sweet tea, you guys. I don't, this is the stupidest thing. So all of Florida is southern, and you can get sweet tea at any restaurant in Florida. But if you're in Disney World, that's too southern, and they don't serve sweet tea.
They sometimes, if you're at like your resort, they have next to the coffee maker, they have that Gold Peak tea dispenser, and that is barely.
I don't know that counts for like most southern people.
It doesn't really count for me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Now this being said, I think if you go to like Art Smith's Homecoming, they probably do, but that also doesn't count because that's not like it is a Disney restaurant now, but this is not what I'm talking about.
Right. It's not a, first of all,
and
it's
I'm
not
not promising you that. I don't know that they have it. I haven't tried. I know when I walk into Disney World, I cannot order sweet tea, and I'm just telling you because I think I've seen so many people surprised by this.
The people want sweet tea and the people want Dr. Pepper. I've seen that too.
Yeah, I just if I'm going to a restaurant where Mickey's dressed up like a farmer,
you would think. You would think.
Where's my sweet tea and ranch dressing? I'm just saying.
He should be bringing it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. He brings the ranch, Minnie brings the tea.
Yeah. Minnie's not there.
No, Minnie's not there.
Isn't that interesting?
That is kind of interesting. Why not?
I don't know.
I feel like she should be like holding a lemonade pitcher
or an apple pie.
A pie. I thought a pie too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Get Minnie in on that.
Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Oh, garden salad. That's what I said. That's where I stopped. The restaurant's two-tiered, semicircular booth seating creates an inherently intimate environment, and also gives you a view no matter where you're sat.
Love it.
So like there's like a lower level and there's an upper level that you have to go a few stairs to get to. There's nowhere in there where you have to like basically look. Well, yeah, you get a good view no matter where you're at.
I think so.
Yeah.
I've been on the top. I've been on the upper and the lower, and it's
been good.
It's been good.
Yeah, and the semicircular booths make it so that like half your party can't be blocking your view.
Right.
That's nice.
Just ask for 1A.
He's joking.
I'm joking. That's a Soren.
That's a Soren joke.
That's a stupid Soren joke.
And it's wrong.
And it's wrong. It's 2B,
yeah,
isn't it? Oh,
it's
2A. Oh, 1.
Yeah, because B's in the middle.
Oh, and 1 is
the front.
The front row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B1.
B1. If you want a bad view.
If you want a bad view, we've tried C3.
Code.
It's horrific.
Every time.
I just can't believe how I was like in shock when we got off the time we went on C3. But we were at the end of C3. We were as far away from the middle of the screen as you could possibly get.
And we were not prepared for how warped every single thing was.
Yeah. Don't worry about the Eiffel Tower being warped. Literally everything.
You will hardly even notice by the time.
Yeah.
Because
everything
you've been
warped.
living in a fishbowl for 15 minutes at
It
that
was
point.
crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll fix it. They're about to change it.
It won't matter.
Or they already changed it, depending on when this comes out.
Yeah, I doubt. God, imagine if they have this problem again. Imagine if the Statue of Liberty is a spaghetti noodle.
Oh my God, I know. Yeah.
Imagine how embarrassing.
That would be something. Anyway, back to Garden Grill.
Yeah, please.
Characters include, that you can see now,
Yay.
Chip, Dale, Pluto, wearing a blue bandana, and a uniquely costumed Farmer Mickey. Which is great, because Chip and Dale and Pluto are like my favorites. So
Love
like,
them.
it's awesome.
I need Goofy and Minnie.
I
feel
weird.
like they should be here.
It's weird. I mean, you could
Goof?
make a case for any of the classic characters in farmer outfits. I feel like we've seen them before somehow or some way, but
yeah,
these are the 4 that they chose.
Yeah. No. Can you give me the characters one more time?
Chip, Dale, Pluto, and Mickey.
No women on the farm.
No women on the farm. Oh my God.
Don't love it.
Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe they were trying to be anti-sexist.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with it.
I like it. That's a good turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Take me back. Where were we?
The characters all come to you. This is true of all character not buffets, meals. The characters come to you.
Except for one.
What do you mean?
Snow White at Artist Point.
Yeah.
How weird.
There's
Sorry,
another
that
one.
was an
No,
aside.
there's another one like that.
Be our guest.
Be our guest.
It's
oh yeah, and actually 1900 Park Fair.
Look what we've done.
No, 1900 Park Fair. I think that now they do come.
I think so
you.
too.
But back when it was Winnie the Pooh was one of them, you would see him on the way out.
How weird.
That was weird. The Snow White thing is most weird because you see all of the characters you want to see at the table, and then you have to go see the villain at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know that I even want to be bullied by this villain right now.
Yeah, you could just skip it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that feels rude.
That feels rude.
But she's mean. But she's supposed to be. She doesn't like usually the times that we've gone.
Yeah.
They're doing a good character. They're doing good character work.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I would imagine that they would get somebody.
Oh my gosh,
capable
you've got to be able to stand there and not smile.
Yeah.
Like she can't smile. She's the evil
queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, they at this restaurant they come.
They
right
all
up
come to you, and then a character, I want to say handler. That might be right too.
I think that is right.
Will come up and be
character
like,
attendant. I think might be.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
I think handler's right. Yeah.
We'll come up and be like, hey, did you get to see all 4 characters? And you let them know if you missed anybody, and then they come back. So it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's efficient.
Oh my gosh. Oh, here we are. The Garden Grill is also one of the few restaurants on Earth where the salad on a guest plate was likely harvested that very morning from the hydroponic greenhouse that they are looking at through the window, which kind of isn't. You're not actually looking at the hydroponic. I have never gone to Garden Grill and then not immediately went and got on Living with the Land. Have you?
I
You
don't think so.
cannot. It's illegal.
No, it's a paired experience.
Thank you.
And if you really want to go extra, you get the behind the seats.
Oh, that would be extra.
That's
yeah.
a triple combo.
Yeah, you could go before if you wanted.
Yeah, that's
your
fine.
appetite.
That's legal.
Fine.
We will allow it.
Yes, but you can't go to Garden Grill and not go on Living with the Land.
What are you, crazy?
You have to be out of your mind.
Get out of here.
You know what you can do? You can skip Awesome Planet.
That's
I'll
fine.
allow it.
Yeah, if anything, we encourage you to skip that.
Yeah, you'll lose your appetite. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, we're all dying. Okay.
Oh, I think it's time to just go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to move on to the food court,
Ooh.
which is less fun than Garden Grill.
Yeah.
I wish I could say that I've had a good experience here in the past 10 years, but I cannot. Can you?
I don't think it's possible.
To have a good experience here? Oh, wow.
No.
Why do we keep trying?
Unfortunately,
We've only tried like once or twice.
and it's one of those things where like you have to sit down and eat
Convenient.
right now.
Yeah, convenient.
Yeah, something's happening.
Okay, so this has had a culinary evolution, and one day maybe the food will be good.
I hope, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like the perfect place to put good, healthy food.
They get a lot of their food from the greenhouses, so it's got to be exceptionally fresh. But when we've gone, maybe it's what we're choosing, but we've gone and then remarked that it tasted like a frozen meal.
It is. So if it is, then why offer that in the first place?
Right. And I think like last time we went, we got something that was maybe Asian-y.
Yes.
And I really felt like I was eating a lean cuisine. Like I just heated up,
I
the
can
microwave
almost
just went
guarantee
off.
that's what it is.
I know. You're right next to like a farm that produces, I don't remember how many millions of pounds of...
It's infuriating.
It is. But moving on.
That should be the best salad in America.
Yeah. So that's our next travel tip is maybe don't eat at the
Avoid
food court.
sunshine seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am going to give you the history.
Please.
Because it is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Occupying the entirety of the pavilion's lower level is a massive high-capacity food court. Much like the attractions above it, the space has evolved through 3 distinct eras, reflecting the changing aesthetic tastes of the Walt Disney Company. Era 1, it was called the Farmer's Market. I'm going to be honest with you, we don't remember this. This was before our time.
Nope.
So maybe it was good back then. This is 1982 to 1993. Under the original Kraft sponsorship, although, never mind, I'm not going to say anything bad about Kraft. The food court was designed to evoke a rustic fall fair vibe. I like that. That sounds awesome.
Sounds like the Gilmore Girls to me.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Dominated by warm earth tones of brown, orange, and yellow, the seating area featured round tables shaded by whimsical bubble-like umbrella canopies. They used to love those bubble-like umbrella canopies. You've seen pictures.
I do. I am aware of the bubble-like umbrella.
And
canopies.
it's inside. It's funny. The centerpiece of the dining floor was a large domed white fountain that provided a central white noise to drown out the chaotic chatter of hundreds of diners.
This is what we're missing now.
The fountain.
Maybe that would help with the sound. The sound is horrendous in there, don't you think?
Yeah. And they took it. I'll get to this, but they took it out because they just wanted more room for seating.
Okay,
which I get.
No.
Yeah, no.
That's so annoying.
Yeah.
I understand. You need more seating.
But they probably could have found a different way to put in white noise. You know what I mean?
That would be good.
It is smart.
It is so loud.
The dome-ish, not dome, but like the shape of this building, it does. I'm gonna get to this later too, but they wound up retheming it to like what it is now. They consider that an airport like theme. Like an airport cafeteria. I'll get to the words later.
Okay, got it.
It does sound like that too. You know what I mean? Like overwhelming sounds of.
Oh yes. Yeah. It sounds so busy.
Yeah.
I hate.
Anyway, back then we're back on the 80s to the early 90s.
Yes.
The food stations were heavily themed as individual wooden stalls offering barbecue, baked goods, soups, salads, and unsurprisingly, given the sponsor, an extensive cheese shop. A mechanical rooster perched above a clock would crow periodically to entertain guests.
Cute.
This sounds lovely. Maybe going back to this would be good.
I agree.
I mean, barbecue? That sounds right. That makes sense to me.
This is when it was called the Farmer's Market?
Yes.
Oh, and even the name is better.
I know. Back then, it fit living with the land and garden grill. And now, I guess they're trying to match Soarin'.
Yeah, with this airport business.
Yeah, and Chinese food or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't think it works. Especially because the food is so crummy.
It's not like you think of airport cafeteria food and you're like, ooh, that sounds great.
Ooh, I love paying $12 for a personal pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Era 2, Sunshine Season Food Fair, which was from 1993 to 2004.
They're just messing with you.
This must be what it was like when we were kids, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't know that I ever ate there.
Yeah, oh, really? When Nestle took the reins in 1993, the rustic charm of the farmer's market was replaced by a bolder, unmistakably 1990s aesthetic. The earthy oranges were painted over with darker, high-contrast colors. The domed fountain was demolished to make room for increased seating. To add visual kinetic energy, large, colorful ribbons were draped across the glass ceiling, and the hot air balloons suspended above the atrium were repainted to represent the 4 seasons and diverse weather patterns, which goes along with what Tony Baxter had originally planned for this anyway, which I think is very cool, because his plan was for you to go through the different seasons in hot air balloons, and now the hot air balloons are painted to reflect the different seasons. I think that's very cool.
I do too.
The menus were updated to feature pasta, potatoes, and naturally Nestle Toll House ice cream products. Okay, so I don't know. And then Era 3, Sunshine Seasons, 2005 to present. In late 2004, the entire pavilion closed for a massive structural addition, the construction of the flight simulator attraction Soarin'.
Yay!
Because Soarin's entrance queue required massive amounts of space on the lower level, the food court was entirely gutted and rebuilt.
Oh, I didn't know.
I know.
Really?
I know, right?
Got it?
Okay. You say so.
If you say so.
Reopening in 2005, simply as Sunshine Seasons, the new food court stripped away the rustic-themed facades and 90s ribbons in favor of a clean, sterile, airport terminal-inspired aesthetic that matched the modern, metallic vibe of Soarin'. Today, Sunshine Seasons has a wood-fired rotisserie oven and serves globally inspired dishes like oak-grilled salmon and Mongolian beef. I think that's what we have, Mongolian beef.
I think so too.
Heavily featuring the fresh produce, so they say, cultivated in the ride just steps away. Disagree. I don't believe it for a second. I don't believe it even a little bit.
Yeah, heavily features?
Nope, I think not.
I think not either.
No, I think what I'm eating there just came out of a microwave.
100%.
So there's also a really funny story about a Handwich. Have you heard about this?
Well, I have heard about a Handwich, but from Disneyland, not from here.
Okay, so this is actually where it started.
What?
So the Land's food court, all right, has one of the most bizarre, humorous, and beloved culinary failures in Disney history, which is the Handwich. Which is funny because you're right. It still exists in Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
At Cars.
Yeah, at Cars, right? It's like the cozy cone and it's cones, right?
Yes.
In the late 1980s, Disney CEO Michael Eisner, heavily inspired by the portable street foods like Belgian waffles and falafel that he had encountered at the 1964 New York World's Fair, mandated that Disney Imagineering invent a fun food that would revolutionize theme park dining. The result was the Handwich, marketed aggressively as the sandwich of the future and a revolutionary breakthrough in food science. The Handwich was essentially a hollowed-out, cone-shaped piece of soft bread stuffed to the brim with wet ingredients. The core marketing premise was that it allowed guests to eat a sandwich with only one hand while walking through the park, blatantly ignoring the fact that mankind had successfully mastered one-handed sandwich consumption for centuries prior.
Well, yes, but that's business. Here's a problem. I'll solve it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the problem and the solution.
Yeah.
Sure is the Handwich, but the Handwich is good. Like the texture. Epic Universe has something similar right now in the How to Train Your Dragon Land.
Funny. Well, this was considered like a joke and a failure at the time.
Aw.
Because it was deemed a futuristic food, the Handwich was banned from historic areas like Main Street and World Showcase. Instead, it was exclusively sold at the Wedway Space Bar in Tomorrowland and the Farmers Market in the Land Pavilion.
That's so stupid.
I know. Fillings range from the pedestrian, like ham and cheese, tuna salad, roast beef and cheddar, to the absurd, like spicy taco beef, seafood salad.
What is so absurd about spicy taco meat?
And a sweet ambrosia fruit salad.
Sorry. Sweet ambrosia fruit salad in the Handwich?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think
that one does sound gross.
the absurdity is thinking that the bottom of that isn't going to turn into like a grease puddle of grease. I don't.
Oh, that does sound gross, actually, now that you say it.
And that when they first did it, it was soft bread. Now, isn't it like a...
It's almost crispy.
Yeah, it's kind of like fried bread.
It's almost like pita bread or something.
Okay.
Or like...
I thought it was genuinely like fried bread, but...
Oh, maybe it is.
I don't know.
I don't know for sure.
I do think we got one in Disneyland at the Cozy Cone or whatever. I don't think I liked it.
Oh, no.
But
Morgan, you can eat it with one hand.
One hand.
One hand. Imagine what you could do with your other hand. Paint a masterpiece.
Despite heavy promotion, the Handwich was a logistical disaster. Guests found that eating a cone of wet meat and mayonnaise resulted in a soggy, doughy stump at the bottom that was almost universally thrown in the trash.
Aww.
The Handwich quietly disappeared from the menus in the mid-90s without fanfare. However, thanks to internet retrospectives and documentaries, most notably a viral deep dive from the YouTube channel Defunct Land, which is where I got a lot of this information. The Handwich achieved massive cult nostalgia status, prompting Disney to ironically resurrect it for 2017 Epcot Food and Wine Festival as a retro novelty item featuring a bizarre macaroni and cheeseburger filling. Have you had that one?
No, I haven't had that one.
Okay. So that's the Handwich origin story.
Fascinating. I didn't realize. I did not realize the land was involved.
You didn't realize you had Michael Eisner to thank.
Of course.
Thanks, bud.
Of course. Michael Eisner's to thank. He's always to thank.
I've already talked some about Kitchen Cabaret and Food Rocks, but I'm going to look over this and see if there's anything else that I needed to mention. So before Soarin' commanded multi-hour wait times, the theater space on the lower level of the land was dedicated to audio animatronic musical reviews.
As it should.
Yeah.
When the world is right, there are audio animatronic reviews.
Yeah. Kitchen Cabaret went from 1982 to 1994. I'm just going to go through this research that I did, and then if I've already gone into something, stop me, okay?
Okay.
Opening with the park in 82, Kitchen Cabaret was a 13-minute animatronic vaudeville show, sponsored entirely by Kraft. And now that you've said what you've said about them being able to pull the strings on what's being taught, hilarious. The show's core objective was to teach guests about the basic 4 food groups: meat, dairy, grains, and fruit/vegetables. The prevailing nutritional model endorsed by the FDA since 1956. The show was hosted by Bonnie Appetite, a human-shaped animatronic. That's what my research said, human-shaped, who underwent 3 rapid costume changes. She opened the show by lamenting her mealtime blues while wearing a Betty Crocker-style apron. The curtains then parted to reveal a multi-tiered stage featuring a massive cast of, singing groceries, as you do.
Of course.
The Kitchen Crackpots is a boisterous ragtime band comprised of a mayonnaise jar, a Parmesan cheese shaker, and a spinning mustard bottle. Mr. Dairy Goods is a crooning milk carton who emerged from the refrigerator holding an old-fashioned microphone to sing the stars of the Milky Way. The Cereal Sisters, a trio of Andrew's Sisters-esque baked goods singing Boogie Woogie Bakery Boy. Ham and Eggs, a vaudeville comedy duo telling terrible groan-inducing meat-related puns. The undisputed climax of the show was the Latin-infused finale, where the colander combo and the Fiesta fruit featuring a maraca shaking Mr. Broccoli, and singing bananas performed Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit.
Love them.
Yeah. And then, of course, the song got stuck in the heads of an entire generation. And then in 1992, the FDA fundamentally altered the American nutritional landscape, officially retiring the 4 basic food groups and introducing the food guide pyramid, which expanded the model to 5 groups plus a fat, oils, and sweets category. Suddenly, the multi-million-dollar animatronic masterpiece was singing factually incorrect science.
It happens just that quick.
Yeah. Nestle, when they took over, initially tried a shockingly cheap fix, literally replacing the Mr. Mayonnaise animatronic, painting Mr. Mayonnaise red and calling him Mr. Tomato Sauce to fit the new dietary guidelines.
Perfect.
But it was clear that it was unsalvageable, and it closed on January 3rd, 94. Food Rocks was next, going from 94 to 2004. After a 3-month turnaround, Food Rocks came out and had a hip and happening mandate that had an MTV style benefit concert energy aimed towards teenagers, because that's what Michael Eisner was interested in.
I think that's a pretty good description of like the charity event, the charity concert thing. I think that's a pretty accurate description of the vibe.
Yeah, it was hosted by food rapper, voiced by Tone Loc.
Yep, food rapper.
Yeah.
He's a rapper.
Yeah, I didn't see this. You saw this, huh?
Oh yes. Oh, that food rocks.
He's a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you getting, audience? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's like rapper with a W and he's rapping, you guys.
Yeah. And then they did a bunch of parody kind of songs. They did the Utensils parodied Queen and did We'll Make It Count in the Kitchen in place of Bohemian Rhapsody. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Some of these like make a lot of sense. Like they did Beach Boys Good Vibrations, but changed it to Good Nutrition, and I can imagine it. And it was by the Peach Boys.
Just imagine Queen doing that part in the Bohemian Rhapsody music video where they're all kind of in a choir and being eliminated, except it's vegetables.
Okay.
That's all you needed to know, really.
Okay. And then they did Refrigerator Police instead of the police, and instead of every breath you take, it's every bite you take.
This is the one I remember the most.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Peter Gabriel. That's hilarious.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah, and it was High Fiber instead of Sledgehammer.
Incredible.
Which is good. That's good nutritional advice.
Yeah, no, that is good nutritional
There
advice.
we go.
Thanks, Peter. Sorry, PETA.
PETA.
Of course.
Despite achieving cult status among 1990s kids who appreciated the pun-heavy humor, the animatronic food era was ultimately doomed by shifting theme park paradigms. And in the early 2000s, Disney sought to inject massive thrill rides into Epcot because of their dropping attendance. In 2004, it was permanently closed to make way for Soarin'. And the Food Rocks animatronics were sold off on eBay.
That is some horrendous behavior. Now, why aren't we saving these babies?
I know.
They've got a massive storage facility. I mean, I know they didn't really...
It's sad.
Yeah. They didn't really get going on that until pretty recently, where they, save
all the
important stuff.
Yeah, they've always had way more land than they use in Florida. So yeah, I don't totally understand why they would be selling this stuff off on eBay. That's kind of crazy, but whatever. My last topic for the Land Pavilion is about the Harvest Theater, which is kind of a sad place to end because, wah, but
it's important.
It's important. All right. So the final piece to the Land's entertainment puzzle is the Harvest Theater, which is located on the upper level, just above the boat ride load area. The cinematic offerings in this space highlight the company's shifting approach to environmental messaging and intellectual property. So it opened in 1982, and the theater hosted Symbiosis, an 18-minute documentary projecting in stunning 70 millimeter film on a massive 23 by 60 foot screen.
Woo!
Directed by Paul Gerber.
Yeah.
It was a highly academic, unflinchingly serious examination of the damage humanity was inflicting upon the planet, ranging from deforestation to water pollution and the technological strides required to mitigate that damage. Devoid of any Disney characters or humor, the film was stark, sobering piece of true edutainment. I would say just
Yeah, where's the tainment?
There's no tainment.
No.
Yeah. So that can't have. I can't imagine that was great.
It's on my watch list. I would like to get to
Really?
the bottom of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. 18 minutes.
Yeah, it might be bad, might be good.
And then by 1995, they changed it to the Circle of Life. Yeah, which I liked.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
I liked better than what we've got now.
Way better. What we have now sounds like what they had before.
Agreed.
Garbage. Just like I get it. It's a serious topic, but I'm in Disney World.
Yeah.
I don't mind you teaching me about something I love animal kingdom conservation, edutainment and stuff like that. I'm okay with the message, but we don't need to be depressed in Disney World.
Yeah. Well, I think at Disney you have a deal, which is that yeah, you are Disney is in control over the messaging and the themes and all of that, but you get to be entertained by the world's foremost entertainment maker.
Right. And I don't remember the exact quote, but he said Walt wanted you to be able to leave behind like the problems and stuff like that.
Yes.
Which is why we say, we've gotten to a point where Hall of Presidents should probably go away, because I don't want to be thinking about people throwing fits up in there.
Right.
While I'm in Disney. While I'm in Disney, I shouldn't have to be thinking about this serious stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like what they did with the Circle of Life and Environmental Fable, because it told you a message, taught you something, but it was also fun and funny.
Yes.
And involved Disney IP.
Yes, it was very funny. If you're not familiar, Timon and Pumbaa are on another kind of little episode. I love them as a pairing. Disney uses them for safety videos and things.
I
They're
love that
so
too.
Cute.
And funny.
Timon's gonna build his theme park / water park resort complex situation. Very Cusco-topia of him, if you ask me. And Pumbaa's all like, all right, because Pumbaa's dumb. But then you get Mufasa. No, you get Simba. Sorry, yeah. Mufasa's dead. You get Simba, and he comes, and he's all, Timon, look at what you're doing to our planet. And it shows live action footage.
It's the footage from Symbiosis.
They just cut it in.
They just cut it in.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So Simba stops talking, and here's your old Symbiosis footage of the world dying.
Yeah.
And then, and Timon's all right, maybe I won't build it. And that's basically the attraction. It was good.
Yes. Message with humor. Thank you. I love it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Clearly I remember it well.
Right.
It really stuck with me.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you one thing they said in
Awesome Planet.
Awesome Planet.
The only thing I remember is the bad feeling I had. Like, okay, Doomsday. And I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
Yes.
But like Disney.
Yeah. Give me represent the climate change in dance or something more impactful.
I just think the Lion King thing was so perfect. Why in
the
world?
Why did you stop that?
Yeah.
Or do WALL-E. Like, I'm fine with them swapping out the IP.
Oh, updating it makes perfect sense.
We don't care.
Yeah.
But, characters, this is a perfect example of when IP would actually really help.
Yes. And sometimes it's not necessary and they're throwing it in there. And then, this is actually helpful.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the issue with the Circle of Life thing is it wasn't popular, but I can tell you from experience, Awesome Planet, not popular.
Not even.
And I would highly recommend not spending time on it.
Yep. It was probably more useful when they were using it as a meeting space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad. And it's a really pretty theater in there, like a nice space. They could do something with it. this isn't really what it should be.
I
right
told
now.
Tyler that I think it's the perfect theater for a puppet show.
Yeah, okay. Puppet show.
I don't know which puppets are going to tell us about the world, but
yeah,
any of them will do, I suppose.
Totally, we could get the Muppets up in there telling us about environment change.
Oh, Dr. Honeydew and Beaker are going to break it down.
Yeah.
And they're going to solve it with inventions that go wrong, of course.
Of course.
But then by the end of the show,
yeah,
I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, we find a way.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
So that's the comprehensive history of the Land Pavilion.
I gotta tell you, there are things in there I've never heard of.
A lot.
Not even one time ever in my life.
A lot for me when I was researching. I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. This is interesting. This is interesting. And I really didn't expect it to be interesting because agriculture.
And I thought we kind of already knew.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of thought, and agriculture, not the most inspiring theme, but Disney has managed to do quite a lot with it. Quite a lot of creative stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, Soarin' is jammed in there. It doesn't really fit perfectly, whatever. Who cares? I dislike that they changed the food court to match Soarin'. That doesn't make any sense. But have you ever looked at that food court and related it to Soarin' or an airport?
No. So they did a bad job of it. But how much more sense would it make to theme it to the Land and Garden Grill and have a garden, farm fresh?
That would be great.
Environmentally conscious,
modern, clean farmhouse.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things they could do that could relate to conservation, kind of. You know what I mean? Sustainability, like having vegetarian, vegan options.
Not plastic menus.
Yeah, having farm fresh type. I don't know.
Juices, produce.
Yeah,
that would be
healthy. Light bites, stuff like that. I mean, and full meals.
That's the perfect place.
Perfect.
Wraps with fresh vegetables.
But they're airport food court. Go.
It's definitely a waste of space. I love the interior wackiness of the land.
I do too.
There's something.
I love the outside wackiness of the land too.
That's a good point. Yeah, the outside, the mosaic and all that is really probably one of the best pavilion entrances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well,
and one of my favorite Epcot Forever posters. It's so colorful and beautiful.
Yes, it does have a really good poster, and it proudly features Living with the Land on it,
and the hot air balloons,
which I love.
Yeah.
I've heard that hot air balloons used to go up and down.
That's what I told you, and I put it in my notes, and then I was like, I'm not going to say this in case I'm wrong, but I swear to God, when I was a kid, they very gently went up and down, and they're on strings. And I asked you about it and you didn't remember, which makes sense because I'm older than you. And then I looked it up and saw that other people also said that they went up and down. But in my research for this, I didn't come across anything saying they went up and down. I didn't come across anything that said that they didn't, but I didn't find anything that said that they did and they stopped for some reason. But I am my brain is 100% sure that there's a memory that they very gently, very slowly went up and down. Just two of them were going up while the other two were coming down, and then they'd switch so slowly you wouldn't even really notice it unless you were looking.
Yeah. I really wish they would do that now, number one. And number two, you know what this means. If you remember this in Epcot, then you have to tell us on Instagram or in the comments.
I really think that it did. I guess people, like I said, it was so slow that you'd have to be there a lot to notice it.
Yeah, but it was for ambiance.
Yes, I know, but I think that's why it didn't get mentioned in any of the research and stuff that I did.
It was too ambient. People didn't perceive.
Right. You have to look up. That's a thing that we as travel professionals are always telling people.
Look above you.
Yeah, look up, look down, especially in Disney.
Oh, totally.
Jake and I say this all the time. You've got to look for the details because Disney puts them everywhere.
Yeah, that's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing a little bit about some of the massive changes that have happened at the Land Pavilion. It's been a fascinating deep dive.
So fun.
Yes. If you guys would like a little bit more content that is interesting and varied, then you can find it on Instagram and TikTok at Neverland Navco.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about taking a trip, please remember, send me an email, morgan@neverlandnavigation.com, and just let's have a conversation, because it doesn't cost you anything for me to be your travel agent, and can really help you out.
Yes, absolutely. And, only then will you truly be
living with the land. I don't know what you're going to say.
That's so fun. And now, but only then will you truly be subscribe to the podcast and supporting us.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on our next. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I'm going to do it right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you on our next adventure.